everybody, and welcome to Grokcast 001. I'm very excited, very happy to be starting this series. Why I called it Grokcast, I will explain later. I'd like to first just apologize for the quality of the sound, at least for my voice, because I don't have a very good mic at the moment, but I did order one today, just an hour ago. So I can promise that very soon I will have a very nice, clear, beautiful sound. Not that my voice isn't beautiful already and you guys don't mind listening to me no matter what the sound is like, right? But anyway, yes, I thought I'd make a little introduction clip here in the beginning before the actual interview starts. I think I mentioned in my previous video that the Grokcasts are going to be me always inviting someone, some guest or other, and we will be talking about some or other controversial issue. And in this episode, I have decided to invite my brother. And what you're looking at there, the footage, is a game called Two Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, which I just started playing, and I thought it would have been, it was appropriate for this episode. And so, yes, I hope you enjoy it. Things didn't go quite as planned, but I did want this episode to be sort of organic, and it looks like it's going to be in two parts as well, because we didn't quite get to everything that I wanted to get to. So yes, enjoy guys. Grokcast 001, the very first episode, part 1 with my brother. Greetings one and all, and welcome to the very first Grokcast here on my channel. I'm very excited to be getting started with this, and if I sound nervous, it's because I am, so please excuse that. It's going to take some time for me to get back into this. But okay, let me introduce you to my brother, Bradley. Hello, Bradley.
Hey, everyone.
There he is. Yes, I thought it would be a great idea to get him on for the very first episode, because there are two main things that I'd like to address in this video, getting started here. The one is the fact that you guys know me as sort of Mandel Sage, the Let's Player, the Minecraft player, and because we're going to be talking about completely different things from now on, and some of the topics will be quite intense and controversial, I thought it'd be a good idea to get you guys to get to know me sort of through Bradley and I talking about our childhood a little bit, where we come from, and also a little bit later, like talking about something more specific, which is religion and how the mind works and how my mind works specifically, because that will be a constant theme on my channel, is talking about religion and belief. So yes, that's the aim. But just before...
I'm super excited about it. I have to say that I've been following your channel for a while now, and I've been quite keen to get onto it, because I've enjoyed watching your viewers comment. They seem to be a nice bunch, so I'm hoping that I can contribute a bit, So yeah, very, very excited.
Yes, exactly. I am very happy about that. I was quite surprised to see how many people sort of commented on my very first video. They're saying that they're so happy I'm back and they missed me, and that was a really nice ego booster. So yes,
baffles my mind. I mean, I'm not sure why anyone watches you, to be honest.
Funny. But yes, before we get started, I'd just like to quickly explain about grok. Why I've put the term grokking in my channel name, and why it's called Grokcast. Do you know what grok means, to grok?
Yeah. So grokking basically means if you learn to do something without, I would almost say without a manual, if you intuitively pick something up, then that's called grokking. Okay,
yes, that is definitely one way that it's come to mean, especially after it became famous in the 60s. But there's more to it, like why I chose it for the channel, and I'd like to just quickly read here. So, in terms of the etymology, where it came from, it was coined by Robert A. Heinlein in his novel "Stranger in a Strange Land," which is a science fiction novel, which I haven't read yet. It's been on my to-read list for a long time. And it's basically described as being a word for to drink, and figuratively, to drink in all available aspects of reality.
Wow.
Now, what that means,
Okay, then.
Basically, to grok means to become one with what you are observing, not only understanding it in a sort of way where you study the information and take in the facts and, okay, now I understand how that works, but actually really becoming immersed in the system of what you are learning or observing, and making it part of yourself. So
learning by osmosis.
Yes, like, you know, there's the machine way of learning where it's just like facts and things, and then there's the human capability of really grasping and taking it in. I mean, there are some more definitions here. To understand something intuitively, that's what you were talking about. To know something without having to think intellectually, such as knowing the number of objects in a collection without needing to count them. Or to fully and completely understand something in all of its details and intricacies. And
all right, so you're planning to go into heavy detail, huh?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I would like to, without actually, because I'm not an expert, I haven't studied a lot of the things we'll be talking about. I haven't studied formally, but I like to think that whenever I do go into something, I take a look at. I take a look at it from all sides, you know, sort of knowing that things are very rarely black and white, and everything we talk about, I would really like to bring to the table different thoughts from different spheres and different paradigms, you know, different points of view.
Okay.
And hopefully everybody will learn something, and not just me, you know, giving my point of view and trying to explain things from what I think.
But rather getting various viewpoints and dissecting them, kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. So
excellent.
Yeah, but I do recommend that everybody go and do a bit more of just a bit of a Google search about the word grok, just so you can get a better understanding. But all right, so let's move on. I was unsure of how to start this, but I think, how about, Bradley, you tell the listeners some of your first memories you have of me, like where we grew up and...
Oh, golly. Golly, gosh.
I think everybody knows we're from South Africa. We grew up in South Africa.
All right, so earliest memories of you... Do you really want me to reveal that? So,
come
the
on.
earliest memories I have of you are not the most pleasant. You were definitely a difficult brother to get along with back in the day. So yeah, it was basically you trying to dominate myself and Reggie, basically forcing your will upon us, if I could call it that.
Me force my will.
Yeah, and that's something I don't think that's really gone away. Not that you force your ideas and your will on people, but you are quite adamant or determined in your way of thinking, and if you think you're right, then you expect other people to know that as well. Not necessarily a bad thing.
Yes, especially when you are right.
Back when you're a child, then you're just the worst. Unfortunately, you were just the worst.
Yes, indeed. Okay, I was not perhaps the best big brother, but what were the first memories in terms of where we were? Like, what? I mean, I remember. I think
the earliest memory for me was my third birthday at the zoo.
Oh, yes, okay.
Do you remember that? That's when you and Reggie convinced me that my third birthday was my last birthday, and in fact I was not going to have another birthday after that.
Oh, no.
And I was rather devastated. So, well done there. You devastated a 3-year-old. But you were 6 at the time, so I suppose I could forgive you. But yeah, that would be my earliest memory, actually. There's very little before that.
Okay, yeah, my first memory of you, I think it was at that time, because when I was 6, I remember I was living with our auntie Meryl. I was going to school close to where she lived, but I came home on weekends, and I just remember sort of coming home on weekends, and you and Reggie's our other brother, by the way. You and Reggie would be there and have had the whole week playing together, and then I'd come back and I'd be like the outsider. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I remember
it was kind of a theme throughout childhood. To be honest, you were always the outlier. Just because Reggie and I got on so well together. And you would kind of just the way that you played and the way you liked to do things was so different to him and I that we would often just try and exclude you, which wasn't very nice, to be honest. But you kind of had it coming.
Yeah, I guess so. But okay, so now let's think. From that time, what happened in our lives? We've had quite a hectic. We had quite a hectic childhood, I think. Better than many, I'm sure. But
yes,
let's see.
It's very, you know what? It's weird because when I think back to our childhood, sure, there were some bad times, but I generally get really good feelings when I think back to our home life. Well, not necessarily home life, but like the times that we as brothers and as siblings spent together.
Yeah, that's
and there
true.
was there was some tension and there was some nastiness going on and things that weren't nice. But I think my brain has kind of just blocked out all that and just kind of tried to hang on to all the really nice memories. And we had some really fun times.
Yeah.
Times where Mommy wouldn't know where we were and we would be out playing in very dangerous situations, if I think back.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that one pipeline. There was like a drain with a lot of bamboos. And we traveled way down that drain.
Mm-hmm.
And if I think to what sort of, what area that was and how, like anyone could have been there. We were just completely oblivious.
Climbing to the roof of the block of flats. That was probably not the best idea either.
Yes, indeed. Getting caught with with those magazines. Oh my gosh.
Yes, well, you got caught with those magazines.
No.
I was just an innocent bystander.
Oh, I remember you paging through the magazine.
I did not do that.
Maybe you blocked it out. But, okay, yeah. Suffice to say, we did get up to a lot of mischief. And yeah, go on. Tell them more about the good parts, because I kind of feel like a bad big brother now.
Sure. No.
We did a lot of cool stuff together.
Well, one of our favorite things to do was find hideouts and build forts. And we were lucky enough to be in a couple of houses in our lifetime where we had access to forest or at least some kind of shrubbery. And like when we were in Pretoria, there was that part where you were, I think that's where you got your bike stolen. There used to be like a whole bunch of trees and stuff there, and we had a really awesome like hideaway place there.
That's what I was talking about earlier with the bamboos. It was that drain.
And we used to we would be up, I think it was on a hill, I can't remember exactly, but we were hidden away. And then we used to shout down at the guys selling ice creams on their little ice cream trolleys. And we were like, hey, how much is your €2 ice cream? Hey, how much is your €2 ice cream? That was so much fun.
And talking about forts in Bredasdorp as well. Yeah, we moved around a lot as kids because our father was in the Air Force and he was transferred a lot. So I've been in 10 different schools. I almost moved, like in my first elementary school, in primary school, I moved basically once a year to a new school. And it was just the last part that in high school where we moved to Bredasdorp, where it was just one high school.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to 4 primary schools, I think. No? Yeah, 4 primary schools and 1 high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, yes. I'd like to reminisce more actually about our childhood, but I'm looking at it's already almost 15 minutes. Time goes pretty fast.
Well, I think the takeaway is that we had an adventurous childhood, like the difficult circumstances, obviously, and our parents did divorce, and there was a whole bunch of turmoil. But I think us as siblings, we stuck together more or less, and sometimes we'd drift apart and come back together. But now in adulthood, I mean, I feel like I'm close to each of my siblings.
Yes.
And I think we've come out more or less unscathed. I mean, we've managed to work through all the issues and most of them anyway.
Yes, I feel the same as well. I feel like I'm a pretty balanced
But
individual.
I do think that because of the nature of our childhood and the things that we went through, it gives us rather a unique perspective on life, because we experienced many different, kinds of things,
situations. Yes.
Yeah,
it's true. We could, I mean, you could say we were our sort of, especially mommy, our mother is quite progressive in her thinking, and
in some ways.
Yes, I mean, and she gave us a lot of freedom. So we had a great. She just trusted us to know, to have good sense in what we were doing, and luckily we didn't actually end up in any real trouble from that freedom.
Sure.
Our dad, of course, was completely different. He was very strict, and for a lot of our childhood, we were quite afraid of him. We really did fear if we ever did anything wrong, what would be the repercussions.
Because he wasn't very consistent, was he? I mean, sometimes he'd be totally cool with it, and other times he'd just go completely crazy.
That
was the worst thing. I mean, if
you never
if he
knew.
was consistent. If he was consistent, at least we knew what not to do. But we never knew what we were doing, if it was going to, be bad or not. We had no idea.
Yeah, not only that. Like, oftentimes, that's the thing. Exactly, he was very temperamental. So even if what we were doing we knew was something, we'd done something wrong, what we didn't know is how bad the punishment would be. And that was pretty stressful, and we were all very happy. I think after they were divorced and we went to live with mommy, that was just like amazing.
After those couple of years, yes, absolutely. Because obviously after the divorce, you didn't go immediately. You stayed with Daddy for a while.
Yeah, exactly. That was one of the worst years I think of my life.
Anyway, let's change the topic slightly. I think we've gone down a dark hole. Let's kind of climb out of that and say we're okay, guys. We're really happy.
Yes, it is true.
It might have been bad, but we're in a good spot now.
That is very true. We're all pretty balanced and well, I use the word balanced, but we're healthy. We're healthy individuals. Okay, so now to get to the religion part.
Yes.
So what's it? Our parents we're basically Christian in the beginning, right? A typical Christian family. Our father was the leader with that. He was part of the Old Apostolic Church.
Yeah, well, I was actually going to say, like, Old Apostolic is not actually your typical Christian. They do things different to most other denominations.
Oh, yes. By typical...
In fact, they go... I mean, they border on, like, Catholicism. I mean, they're
Oh no, I wouldn't say that. Not Catholicism, because
not necessarily, but just in the way that their strict structures are in place. You know, they've got a very heavy way of doing things.
Okay, I guess
I
with
always
the rituals,
thought
yes.
It's a little oppressive. Like, it was never. You never had a good time at church, did you? It was just very, very heavy all the time.
And to be honest, I think when it comes to religions and like if you really mean and believe those things, I think it's a more sincere way of following your religion. Some of the charismatic churches that exist today have gone so far away from the original Christianity. It really just seems insincere.
Well, actually, most denominations. I mean, let's face it. Every denomination
have changed,
has a certain interpretation of what the Bible meant. I know charismatic movements. They advertise themselves as being completely biblical, and very literal, whereas Old Apostolic, for example, they
much more metaphorical and spiritual.
They don't believe in the literal Bible, but I mean, it's all much of a muchness for me, because they who knows what Jesus meant really, because I mean the Bible was written by some guys quite a few years after the death of Jesus, and then it was translated and reworked, and I think it's fair to say that there's no real Christian denomination or Christian branch that is even close to what the original Christians were.
Yeah, that's fair to say. The historicity of the Bible is a whole subject that I'd like to dedicate a whole cast to. And if I could get my aunt, our aunt Vida on, that would be amazing, because she's really studied that. She's still apostolic.
You should get Louis on as well.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if he'd be willing. Based on the email that I exchanged with him, we exchanged 2 or 3 emails, and he seemed to just get frustrated with me, with my questioning him. You know, hello.
What happened to you?
Are you back? I don't know.
Yeah.
The connection dropped there for a second. Okay, so anyway, I was just saying that with Uncle Louis, it's doubtful that I'll get him on, but it would be nice, like if maybe you and him could record a conversation, maybe sometime, just to. Yeah. Like I was trying to clarify.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
He explained a lot about what he believed, and then when I tried to clarify it a bit more, asking sort of specific. I went into the reasoning behind his explanations, and he didn't seem to take that well.
Yeah.
But anyway, so okay, how about us? Man, this is a whole new, a whole different subject that I think maybe we could get into later.
Maybe for another episode. I don't know. I don't think we should get into our own religion right now.
Or our lack of religion, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we can do is we'll end off this episode just by exactly that, saying what we believe right now, and we can get into how we got here in the next episode. So essentially, like we can get into this later as well, but the word atheist, it aptly describes me at the moment. I don't know about you, how you feel about it. But also at the same time, I don't like being called atheist or being put into that group for many different reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, I do not believe in anything. I don't take anything on faith. I think that to be intellectually honest with yourself is the best way to go. If you ask a question and the answer is, I don't know, then that should be fine. And we shouldn't need to invent sort of cheap answers to difficult questions, when we don't have the answers.
Yes.
So how do you see it? Like, what do you call yourself?
I make a point of not calling myself anything. I've never really liked being labeled as something, because immediately if I say, okay, no, I'm atheist, then people have already made pre-assumptions about me and everything. So I tend not to. I rather wait for someone to say, so, what do you believe? And then I'm happy to explain and stuff. But I'm not going to say, no, I'm actually Christian, or no, I'm agnostic or atheist, because each of those have got a stigma or some sort of misconception or preconception about it. And that just creates unnecessary bias when you're trying to have a conversation with someone.
Yeah, that is in all aspects, actually. If you say, oh, I'm in politics, I'm left or I'm right, it's immediately, like I said earlier, things are rarely black and white, and people really like to have things clearly defined, and I think it's a problem that has to be faced.
Well, it's kind of just a human thing, because we don't want abstract ideas kind of floating in our minds. We like to have things quite organized and boxed, and that you want to be certain about certain things. And if you ask someone, so what do you believe, they want to know that you're one of their predefined boxes.
That's right.
It makes it easier for them.
That's right. It's a shortcut
to either relate or judge you. So it's a difficult one. It really is, and that is why I'm adamant not to actually say what I am, because I'm not going to.
That's right.
We'll talk about my beliefs, and I'm really happy to do that. But that could go on for hours.
Yes, it could, and that's something I'm talking about the time. I would like to keep these at around 30, maximum 40 minutes. So
we can always, I mean, if we do have topics that go on for longer, we can have 2-part series. So your listeners or your viewers can just listen to the chunks. They don't have to listen to the whole lot, because especially with topics that we're going to be doing, it's kind of difficult to listen to for more than about half an hour for most people. I mean, our ability to concentrate doesn't go beyond 30 to 40 minutes. So, and especially if it's intense topics, you want to kind of let the information sink in and let them mull over it a bit.
Yeah, I can relate because I watch Sam Harris podcasts, which often go to around 90 minutes, or 2 hours. And yeah, after an hour, I pause it and then I do something and then I go back to it. But okay, so that's what we'll do. We'll have Genesis Part 1 and Genesis Part 2. In Part 2, Bradley and I will continue talking about this, about sort of how we were raised religiously, what in terms of belief, and how we came to the point now, as we've just revealed, that we do not have any beliefs. We don't like to be called atheists, but I follow many atheist groups and relate to many atheists, and we agree with a lot of things. But there's lots of things that atheists think. Some atheists think that I disagree with as well. So yes, as we were saying, we don't like that label. Okay.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really happy. And I think it's worth mentioning that not all topics that we talk about are going to be heavy. We will have some lighter topics as well.
That's true.
Right?
Yes, that's true. This series is the Grokcast series, where there will be mostly sort of 30-minute episodes where we choose a topic. Usually it'll be something interestingly controversial or intense, but not always very intense. And then I also plan on doing a different sort of series where things will be much lighter and will sort of maybe be funnier and just more casual. I'm not sure on the content of that yet, but yes, I don't plan on only doing very serious stuff.
Cool. Right. Well, I think we should say goodbye to our lovely viewers.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in for this first episode. I'm just going to continue calling them episodes, even though it's not quite the same format as before. Thank you, Bradley, for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And
I look forward to doing some more.
Yes, it's going to be nice. We don't often talk, or we haven't, at least recently, so I've really enjoyed this.
Me too.
Okay. Please remember to subscribe and, if you're new, subscribe and like the video, because that'll help our channel grow. And yes, once again, thank you and goodbye. And it looks like it's going to be in 2 parts as well, because we didn't quite get to everything that I wanted to get to. So yes, enjoy, guys. Grokcast 001, the very first episode, part 1 with my brother. Greetings one and all, and welcome to the very first Grokcast here on my channel. I'm very excited to be getting started with this, and if I sound nervous, it's because I am, so please excuse that. It's going to take some time for me to get back into this. But okay, let me introduce you to my brother, Bradley. Hello, Bradley.
Hey, everyone.
There he is. Yes, I thought it would be a great idea to get him on before the actual interview starts. I think I mentioned in my previous video that the Grokcasts are going to be me always inviting some guest or other, and we will be talking about some or other controversial issue. And in this episode, I have decided to invite my brother. And what you're looking at there, the footage, is a game called Two Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, which I just started playing, and I thought it would have been, it was appropriate for this episode. And so, yes, I hope you enjoy it. Things didn't go quite as planned, but I did want this episode to be sort of organic. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Grokcast 001. I'm very excited, very happy to be starting this series. Why I called it Grokcast, I will explain later. I'd like to first just apologize for the quality of the sound, at least for my voice, because I don't have a very good mic at the moment, but I did order one today, just an hour ago. So I can promise that very soon I will have a very nice, clear, beautiful sound. Not that my voice isn't beautiful already and you guys don't mind listening to me no matter what the sound is like, right? But anyway, yes, I thought I'd make a little introduction clip here in the beginning, which is religion and how the mind works and how my mind works specifically, because that will be a constant theme on my channel, is talking about religion and belief. So yes, that's the aim. But just before...
I'm super excited about it. I have to say that I've been following your channel for a while now, and I've been quite keen to get onto it, because I've enjoyed watching your viewers comment. They seem to be a nice bunch, so I'm hoping that I can contribute a bit, So yeah, very, very excited.
Yes, exactly. I am very happy for this episode, because there are two main things that I'd like to address in this video. Getting started here. The one is the fact that you guys know me as sort of Mental Stage, the Let's Player, the Minecraft player. And because we're going to be talking about completely different things from now on, and some of the topics will be quite intense and controversial, I thought it'd be a good idea to get you guys to get to know me sort of through Bradley and I talking about our childhood a little bit, where we come from, and also a little bit later, like talking about something more specific,